I've got to do a clutch job today, and my friend Christopher told me that I should make a video, so I am. I'm going to give you some tips. First thing you do, proper attire. You can see I got some pants I don't care about and my old mechanic shirt, which is kind of new. Next, make sure you have earphones to play your favorite music while you're working. Next, make sure you have the appropriate information. Nice. I will also be using a thread on Club EP3 that was posted by GMZC5, and it's always very important to have a thread available because you can see pictures which help. I shouldn't have to remind you, but you do need a clutch before you do a clutch job, so order your clutch before you do the clutch job. An air tool, make sure it's a well-oiled machine before you use it. I like to always loosen up the lugs before I lift up the vehicle because it's easier to do it at that point in time. So, get to that. Alright, now comes a very important step, which is jacking up the car. You want to make sure the e-brake is on and you've got a brick in front of the wheels. You always want to be as safe as possible. Then, get your jack right there in that middle point and slowly start lifting. Make sure the car's not moving around, and then put your jacks into jack stand position. If the car is supported, you remove the other wheel. I recommend putting your wheel under the car, so in case that the car does fall, it doesn't crush you, it just ruins your wheel. Much better sacrifice. Now you need to remove the little clip holding this in and remove these. You'll have one of these. Don't forget to stay hydrated, that's very important. Remove the three bolts holding down the shifters. They are 12 millimeters, easily done with an extension. Going to be a lot of nuts and stuff, so stay organized. This is just a tip. This is what I like to do. I just put them back in the hole where they belong, and that's it. You sort of more organized. Now you will be removing those two 12 millimeter bolts and this 10 millimeter bolt to remove the slave cylinder. Alright, now use your 3/8 wrench to remove this manual transmission plug. Let it drain. While it drains, make sure to stay hydrated. Remove your battery tray, which is as simple as removing these 4 bolts right here. Time to remove the brake calipers. You need a 17 millimeter. This guy might be a little too small, so you might need this guy. You have the two 17 millimeters removed. Make sure you safely move the brake caliper around without messing the brake line. You already screwed up your clutch, you don't want to screw up anything else. Now you want to remove your top camber bolt. I did it with this guy right here because it's pretty tough. Try not to screw up your camber settings too much. Slowly move the hub down and then move to the other side and repeat the process. Oh man, this looks foggy. Anyways, don't forget, I almost forgot to tell you, to remove the ABS sensor. If not, you'll tear that thing off and you will get an error. Remember, if you're doing this alone, it's important to take some breaks and watch some things that make you positive, make you laugh.
Some say he's very angry with me for blowing him up again. And... sorry.
To remove the sway bar end links, you need a 14 millimeter. Now mine was pretty hard, so be prepared to struggle with that unless you have one of these. And now you're going to want to use a tool like this and pry the axle out of the driver's side. Either from up here, from the bottom, or a combined effort. It's going to be hard, but wedge it out. It will come out like so. Be careful, because I hit my elbow quite a few times on that lower ball joint and now it hurts a lot. So be careful when you're prying out. Remove the other axle, the passenger side, from the half shaft, and same process. Remember, cuts are normal. No one ever said it was going to be easy. Clean it, disinfect it, and keep going. Remember, we don't want an infection, so... I'm joking, it didn't really hurt that much, but it's important. Stuff is the bomb. So, once you are nice and bandaged up, get back to work. Pronto. Alright, so everything doesn't always go as planned. Some people's passenger side axle is stuck to the half shaft. Mine was the case. So, I unbolted the half shaft and pulled that out, which was fairly simple. I suggest if it's stuck, don't hurt yourself. Just do it this way and stop wasting time. Now remove the 4 14mm bolts holding in the sway bar. You might need a little leverage for these, kind of tough. Now remove the 3 17mm bolts from the front engine mount. Once done, proceed to the rear mount and remove those two. Now you mark all your subframe bolts. This is the first time I actually removed my subframe. When I did my engine swap, I took it out from the top. So let's see how it goes. You remove them while it's supported and you lower down. Let's try it out. In no way do I recommend doing it this way, but I'm doing it like this out of necessity, so you do whatever you can. Well, once you get the subframe out, you deserve to celebrate. Either that or take a nap. Been at it all day. Need a little break. Take some time and sip on a nice cold glass of water. Even though you might not be too hungry because you're stressed out, get something to eat. Like Grandma said, if you don't eat, you'll most likely die. Also, make sure to laugh again.
My goodness, they're going ham. Oh my goodness, oh my damn, oh my goodness, they're going ham. This is how making is supposed to be. The fries.
You're working clothes. This ain't no joke. It's time to get back to business. Cafecito or whatever you must for that extra kick of energy. Make sure you do it with class. You need to support your engine, but you don't want to do it by the oil pan because you might mess it up. So I have it jacked up by right here. Now preferably you'll be using a jack stand, but of course, once again I had to improvise. Now we will begin to take off all the wires attached to the tranny, and then we'll start unbolting it. Unplug these two plugs and use a 10mm to remove the grounding strap. Once you have these two bolts up here loosened, and this bolt right here loosened, this one up here which is also for the starter, and the two back here, you could begin to wiggle and lower down the transmission. Look at that, no more tranny. Here she is on the ground. Doesn't weigh too much, you can move it around on your own strength. And now to replace the clutch. By the way, this is not the best weather for doing a job like this. Next we will be replacing the throwout bearing. Clean this up real good, push it out, and put the new one after it's greased. I have a helper. We're going to replace the throwout bearing now. Use your supplied grease or buy some grease and make sure everything is nice and clean in there. Spread the grease, make sure you don't get it on the outside because it will splash on your clutch and you will have very bad problems. Now we get to the pressure plate and removing of the clutch. When you remove the bolts, obviously the clutch comes out. You can see how thin that thing is, and that's not very healthy right there. It's all creased. So here we have everything ready to go back in. Keep everything nice and clean, don't touch it with greasy fingers. Make sure that flywheel is nice and clean. I just installed the pilot bushing, which goes in the middle, and then you grease it up, some high temp grease, and you're good to install. Make sure you use your clutch aligning tool right here and align everything up, put it in, torque it down to 19 pounds.
I think this set of
Alright, now that everything is torqued down to spec, repeat everything in reverse. There's a tranny, there's a subframe, and there's a bucket full of nuts. I mean bolts. Well, hello there, neighbor. Getting everything wrapped up. Hope you learned something today. I know I learned a lot of things today. Make sure to stay safe. Do it right the first time. And it's a hell of a hard thing to do alone, so get someone to do it with you. 3 people, 4 people. Just provide food. Thanks for watching. I'll give you a little clip at the end of me driving it once it's all together. Well, she is running. Now let's give her a test drive. So this thing is driving amazing. I'm not even used to the clutch engaging so soon. It's smooth. Tips for any of you that may be watching or may have watched. If it's not working, try it a different way. Don't waste time. Aligning the transmission with the engine is a pain. Get someone to help you. Half shaft, removing the passenger axle from the half shaft is hard, and sometimes it won't come out, so just take out the half shaft. And when you get to drive that thing, it feels amazing. So it's 2 in the morning. I started at 11 a.m. It's been a crazy day, but it's all done. Good night.